Hello friends, so we're back in my car again for another talk. It's been a little while since I've done one of these. Sorry, I'm talking weird. But this is just something that's been a big thing in my life recently, and something that I've really grown such a deep love and realize the importance of. And so I really want to share it, and I have come to realize that it's not a very known thing just because we weren't taught it growing up in church, and so I think it's something, I don't know, it's something that I really want to share and challenge y'all in, because it's been something that's completely changed my relationship with the Lord and what just I view Christianity as and stuff, and just having that relationship with God. So the Holy Spirit. So obviously we're taught growing up in church, it's just kind of a thing that if you've grown up in that kind of community, is that God is 3 in 1, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. So obviously God is just the God we talk about all the time. Jesus is the Son, and then we never talk about the Holy Spirit necessarily, and never really split those 3 up into their individual aspects and what the relationship with the 3 of them look like, because it is one relationship with God, but there are 3 parts of God. And so I want to talk about friendship with the Holy Spirit and what that looks like. I worked at a camp last summer, and I was challenged when one of my coworkers had mentioned friendship with the Holy Spirit, and I was sorry, I was making sure my camera was working. She mentioned friendship with the Holy Spirit, and I was like, that's interesting. I've never thought about that. And that just looks like him being your friend and someone you can talk to all the time, and just literally having conversations with the Holy Spirit, because he's with you. You invite the Lord into your life, the Holy Spirit, your body is the temple for the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit literally lives within you. So sometimes I feel you're not taught to acknowledge that, and I think that is it's really a waste of such a good powerful thing. So I want to get into kind of practical ways of how that looks, and what that has personally looked like in my life. Camera's being weird. And yeah, so I was challenged by that almost a year ago now, and I asked her to this girl to send me anything she has on what that is and what that looks like. And I was in my search, or in my asking for that question, asking for that, I was really hoping that she would give me these verses that say God or the Holy Spirit is your friend, friendship and the Holy Spirit, and it's not like that. So when I read these verses, I was kind of disappointed, but looking back, super fun. Okay, super fun, super cool. It's just super powerful. So we will start in Genesis 27. And this is showing the friendship of God and what the Holy Spirit, just the character of God, and what that relationship with the Holy Spirit can look like with us as sinful humans, and him being a perfect God. So Abraham answered and said, behold, I have undertaken to speak to the Lord. Sorry, did I say Genesis 18? I don't think I did. Genesis 18. Behold, I have undertaken to speak to the Lord. I am Lord, I who am but dust and ashes. Suppose 5 of the 50 righteous are lacking. Will you destroy the whole city for lack of 5? And he said, I will not destroy it if I find 45 there. Again he spoke to him and said, suppose 40 are found there. He answered, for the sake of the 40 I will not do it. Then he said, oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Suppose 30 are found there. He said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. He said, behold, I have undertaken to speak to the Lord. Suppose 20 are found there. He answered, for the sake of the 20 I will not destroy it. Then he said, oh, let the Lord be angry, and I will speak again, but this once. Suppose 10 are found there. And he answered, for the sake of the 10 I will not destroy it. And the Lord went his way when he finished speaking to Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place. And this is just showing the disbelief in the character of us as humans, and just like the patience in the character of God, and just like having that conversation with him. Like Abraham, like I think that we just like really see it. I think oftentimes we see it as this like big booming voice talking to us, but it's like someone I was with last night was saying that like it's like the Lord is like it's just like your thoughts. So like instead of speaking like as humans do to communicate, the Lord is taking that speaking out of it and just processing what he's saying to you as a thought, just as he would like when you're speaking with another human. Like you listen to them and then your mind interprets what they're saying. With the Lord, he skips that speaking, like where you listen, but you just like he internalizes that as thought, and like as you interpret what he's saying, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's one thing, just like the character of God, and like that he's so like patient with us, but just showing that like you can talk to him, like he is there to I don't know, have conversation with. So this really truly shows the importance of the Holy Spirit, I think, just because I'm trying to get that across and like help maybe like hopefully the Lord speaks through me and like gives you the understanding of like what the Holy Spirit and how important he is, and like what that friendship with him looks like, and how that can completely change your relationship with God. I think that like for me, it's something that I have to be very conscious of and really work towards, because he's always sitting there waiting for me, but I have to go the extra step to meet him where he is and like talk to him. And so it's just as simple as like walking to class. I'm like, Lord, like this is such a pretty day, like thank you for this, like you're so awesome. And like telling him like what I'm feeling, like if I'm anxious about a class, like and I don't know, I feel his presence and like feel him, reply back to me. I don't know, it's just like this piece of just like engaging in conversation with him. And it's something that you have to like really practice on, because you can't just like boom, hear the Holy Spirit, like because there's, I feel like, an extent of disbelief. You have to like really like work on it. And it's not, like I said, it's not just something that like you like wake up one morning, you're like, oh, like I know how to talk to the Holy Spirit. Like I think it's something that you have to practice and really like desire to do. So this is really awesome. So in John 16 verse 4 through 14. This is right before Jesus is going to the cross, and his disciples are like, we don't want you to leave us, like stay here with us, just because like obviously they know that their life has been better with Jesus around. And Jesus literally tells them that like Jesus is glad he is leaving because they get to experience the Holy Spirit. And like Jesus is like, y'all literally don't understand, like you're winning because I'm leaving and you get to experience the Holy Spirit because he's gonna be with you all the time. And like obviously with Jesus there were like the human body like gonna die, like physical limitations, but with the Holy Spirit, like he is everlasting, eternal, like he's always with you. And like Jesus himself can't be with every single person all the time, but the Holy Spirit can. He's within every single person all the time, because there's one Jesus. He can't be with you all the time, but the Holy Spirit can be with anyone, because he's not one simple being. He's not put within the limitations of a human body, but he's like in us. Like we accept the Holy Spirit into our lives, into our body, into our heart, which is, it's so cool. So let's start in verse 4. I do not say these things, this is Jesus speaking, I do not say these things to you from the beginning because I did not say these things to you from the beginning because I was with you. But now I am going to him who sent me, to God. And none of you ask me, where are you going? But because I have said these things to you, sorrow has filled your heart, because he is leaving. Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is to your advantage that I go away. For if I do not go away, then the Helper, being the Holy Spirit, will not come to you. But if I go, I will send him to you. And when he comes, he will convict the world concerning sin and righteousness, and judgment. Concerning sin, because they did not believe in me. Concerning righteousness, because I go to the Father, and you will see me no longer. Concerning judgment, because the ruler of this world is judged. When the Spirit of truth comes, he will guide you into all the truth. For he will not speak on his own authority, but whatever he hears, he will speak, and he will declare to you the things that are to come. He will glorify me, for I will take what is mine and declare it to you. All that the Father has is mine. Therefore I said that he will take what is mine and declare it to you. I don't know about you, but just hearing the fact that but like Jesus, like the perfect human, like he knows he's good and like he is like perfect and sinless, but he knows how much better the Holy Spirit is even. Just like the presence of the Holy Spirit, because he's not limited by, like I said earlier, like a human body. It's cool that like Jesus acknowledges like how powerful the Holy Spirit is, and like says you are to an advantage because I am leaving, because you get the Holy Spirit. And I think that like this is something that a lot of times in the church, like I was talking to my disciple earlier, and like we talked about how like this is something that it's just like skipped over in like church, and a lot of times like you're not like taught the importance of the Holy Spirit, because sometimes that can become like questionable to a sense and uncomfortable, and God's not calling us to a life of comfort, but like with the Holy Spirit, like you're comforted to an extent because like you have the presence of God with you all the time. And it's nice because like you can, like as I'm going somewhere and like going into a hard situation, like Holy Spirit, give me peace, like your presence is here, and like comfort me, and like trust me, like I don't do that a lot. Like I forget, and like that's my sinful self, like not remembering to acknowledge the Holy Spirit and to acknowledge that he's with me and to really like surrender to him. And like I said, that's my sinful like mistake, I guess. It is mistake. But it's something so important to just like have, I don't know, to ask the Holy Spirit to be with you all the time, and it's so cool. I just love that Jesus is like, you're winning because you're about to get the Holy Spirit. Like you're lucky that I'm going to the Lord because you get the Holy Spirit. And I just want to challenge you in that, to explore what that looks like, that the Holy Spirit is present and he is moving and speaking, and that he is with you all the time. Even if you're not in constant conversation with him, he is still with you. He's with you right this second, and this second, and this second. And he's just there. And like, just like mull that over, like no one is with you all of the time. Like even if you have your best friend that you live together, like y'all aren't together all the time. Like the Holy Spirit is with you all the time, and how much comfort that is. Like I don't know, just like he's really awesome, and powerful and capable of so much, and it's something that like, just explore that, like ask the Lord to reveal to you what that looks like in your life, and really spend time exploring that, because it's a very, very, very special thing, and like what a blessing it is, truly. And like you're never gonna have it perfect, like ever. Like I'm not saying this from a point where I'm like, oh yeah, I've got it down. Like no, I don't. But it's something that's so fun and so cool and so exciting that like I'm very passionate about, and I can't help but like want to share that with you. So experience that, or like work on experiencing that. Ask the Lord to like reveal to you how you can experience that, because it's gonna change the game in your heart for sure, and just in your relationship with the Lord and your outlook on everything. And I can't necessarily sit here and tell you what that looks like for me, because it's different for me.